right? So that apart, her understanding was very much again known to how the prospects of her caste, her housing, her gender studies went on to make some detailed analysis of society in our state, and later the government tried to build houses on the basis of what she recommended. Even today we see many of these slums are not well ventilated. She said housing is not just a shelter. For her, housing is a dignity. She said housing was a dignity. Dignity, and it served the privacy for a woman. What type of dignity? A housing without ventilation, without light? She said no. Don't give them as a token. But these structural changes in the building, like the caste in the society, is also required. So her housing projects even today are recognized. Recognized in the sense, many of the housing boards have now trying to emulate what she was telling in the 50s and 60s. We also see a lot of, by understanding Parvatama, we can also see a lot of how her analysis can be studied in the present and today's situations. People in power, how they make use of the resources. And if you look at it at the digital divide today, right? Most of the SCs do not have internet connections in the villages. What does that mean? It means you are not updated. It means you don't have any information. You are lacking the resources. So the information doesn't even reach them if you don't have a proper bandwidth. You understand? And this is a problem with all of us. And we saw it during the COVID times. So what does that mean? There will be again dropout of students, dropout of girls, dropping out of schools and colleges. Because it's a must. Many of them do not even have smartphones. So what is mere education? So the gaps that what Parvatama saw there, that is reflected today in the digital world. You don't have a smartphone? Then you don't become resourceful. Right? It is like that. A third standard, fourth standard children today, teachers send PDF to the parents. So there are no textbooks. They will forget how to read and write tomorrow. Because everything is there on your mobile, on your hand. But that is good only when you have a proper connection. But doesn't work well with the people in the rural society. So like that, if we look at again how even the caste, when she spoke about Sanskritization, just by imitating the upper caste doesn't change your caste, or your status doesn't change. So that is why she heavily criticized M.N. Srinivasan. He saw it as a man, like many other sociologists in the world see. Classical sociologists, most of the men, have seen sociology from their point of view, not from the woman's point of view, and not for coming to Parvatama ma'am, not from the Dalit's point of view. That of course led to a lot of debate, an insider-outsider debate, but she did it. And she did it with all honesty and religiously. And she showed it how M.N. Srinivasan was wrong in introducing this word Sanskritization, and how it left the conflict that was there within the SC/STs that was not recognized and told in the society. So the bottom remained. Today when you become the Prime Minister or the President, we read in newspapers that he or she is the first Dalit Prime Minister or the President. You understand? We still add that name there. So somebody becoming the Chief Minister or the Prime Minister or the President, your caste doesn't change. You would have had the status of it. An individual would have done that. But there are generations in their families yet to become a first member to study in schools and colleges. Today I see in my university, there are first generation students studying in colleges, in universities, coming from the SC/ST communities. I see them now, first generation students. So education, how you bring it to the society, how you empower these people was also a concern, not as a token or as a policy, but she said it has to be their right. Right for them to survive with dignity. She emphasized the word dignity because it meant everything for them. It meant coming out of your complexes. It meant coming out in confidence to bring change in the society. I have 5 minutes? Yes. Okay.